Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Door here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to the RWBY Volume 7 finale, The Enemy of Trust. Now, before I get started with my pre-episode ramble, let me just say, I am not ready for this. So, I've gathered several points of topics to try and delay this as much as possible. So, let's get these started. Uh, the first couple are just sort of what ifs for later volumes. They're not they won't actually be applicable this episode because well, there's nowhere near enough time. But the first one is, well, if Atlas is brought up into the atmosphere, don't they have a communications tower next to the school? So wouldn't Atlas itself going up into the atmosphere count as one that could broadcast around the world, or did it need to be specifically modified, like the to be able to encompass such a large um, area, or did it need to have a certain amount of ones on the in the atmosphere for it to connect to in order to gather the range? That's just the first one. The next one is if Atlas, if it's able to move while it's up in the atmosphere. This is assuming they don't just stay up there and cower away like cowards. If it's able to move, theoretically, they could float Atlas as a whole over to where Vacuo School is located, provide aerial support, not just the military ships, but all of the huntsmen that were in Atlas Academy, like Team Funky and all the others that were at the um, Vital Festival, all the actual ones that stayed at the school, all of them could move and be deployed at a moment's notice for when Salem gets there. Now, they didn't do anything to protect their own country, so what would they do to protect another country? But I'm a little salty we didn't get to see any of the actual students fighting against the Grim invasion, because, like, we saw all of them helping at Beacon. Why wouldn't they help their own country? Okay, so now there's a theory go around that something is going to happen to Blake and Weiss this um, episode. This is based off of an image that was shared where there's a slash going through the top right corner of the W and through the middle of the B, just like cutting the team in half. And the reason they think this means something bad is going to happen is because a similar image was shared with volume 5 with the W slashed in half, and well, as we know, Weiss got impaled. And well, if it corresponded once, people think it'll correspond again. And this sort of relates to the next point because apparently, I don't know the official source, but apparently this is coming from people within RT, that there is a scene that's going to make us feel like vomiting, a scene where Yang screams, and a scene that'll make us hate Neo. Now, I've seen a lot of people speculating that Neo is going to do something to Blake, like some form of mutilation. A lot of people are thinking one of her ears is going to be cut off, and I guess that would sort of encompass all three if it's very graphic for the mutilation. But I, I don't think I'd ever be able to fully hate Neo. This is just because of personal. Like, sure, she can do bad shit. I can dislike the character, but because of previous, I don't think it would ever fully be hate. But I can understand if a lot of people do if something like that happens. Next one is, you know how they say that the stuff of creation, unlimited power, as much power, and can power things as much as you want, like power it up, can be used to power one thing at a time. So, what if someone with a robotic part were to make contact with a star, like Yang's arm, or General Ironwood's right side, or Penny? Would it supercharge that part of them? Like, imagine, like, Penny, a single laser, having the power of all of her swords combined. Like, just because she's in contact with the staff, or just um, supersonic, or even light speed flight. And can it be used to power up a living person, sort of like a pseudo Jean's semblance, where it just like amplifies it, like, well, like Jean's semblance. The next is another common question, which is, could Penny get the power of the maiden? Now, I've seen a lot of people argue yes, I've seen a lot of people argue no, and the main point that I see popping up for the no is because of her aura. Yes, she in and of herself is a young female who is of fighting age. Now, biologically, she, what, a couple years old, but she has the demeanor and, as far as everything goes, of a 18, 19-year old, much like Blake, Yang, and Weiss. But her aura also comes from an elderly male, which sure to make her ineligible despite her being a young female. And well, we until they actually bring that up in the show, I don't think we're going to get a definitive answer on that. But I reckon that might be addressed in this episode because the thumbnail is Freya awake in the aura transfer machine, and who was standing right in front of that in the end of the last one? It was Penny, and she's the person who would be doing the most in a fight to protect Freya. So, if Freya sees this young woman fighting to protect her, it's possible that the power would go to her rather than someone she's just had some pleasant chats with, such as Winter. Now, something I noticed when watching the other reactions of Chapter 11 is that the way the animators made the mist version of Salem seem more inhuman is she turns her head fully into the direction she's intending to face before she actually turns her body. Now, this is not something a human would do. We'd turn our head either with or behind our body to make it seem more open, like we're. But no, she went full. See, it's even hard to demonstrate because it's so hardwired into me to turn them together. Now, I like they did. I don't know if this was their full intention to make her seem more inhuman, or it was just an easy way to do the model, but this is reminiscent of how the actor who played the T-1000 in Terminator 2, he would move his eyes before his head because he reasoned that would be the optimal way an android would move. Like it would gauge the situation and then turn to face it. So, and well, it did give him a sort of inhuman vibe whenever you saw him do it. Most people wouldn't catch on to why it was unsettling, but they just know it's not normal. I also picked up that General Ironwood says the exact same thing that Cinder said the episode before, that being the timeline has changed. She was doing it when she was telling Neo to infiltrate the school, and he was doing it in regards to them infiltrating the school. So I just think it's I wouldn't say parallel. I would just I just found it interesting that they would say the exact same phrase. Now, the song that was in episode 12, it being called War, it seems to be sung from the view of Team RWBY towards Marrow with the I always saw you as a friend, you but turns out you were just another person who would follow orders and all that. And I'm sort of getting the vibe, if I'm correct in this interpretation, I could be completely off the ball, but I'm getting the vibe that this means that when the full song actually comes out, um, there's going to be a verse for each of the Aesops. So, like, 5 different verses. I know they'll make it a little bit of a longer song, but we've had 6 minute songs for RWBY before. And I could be completely wrong because these could just be bits cut out of different verses, which they have done multiple times in the past. Now, finally, I saw this thing on Instagram. I'm gonna try and bring it up real quickly. It said, um, the cowardly lion lost his courage, referring to Leo siding with Salem. They said the Tin Man lost his heart in response to James abandoning um, Mantle to save Atlas. Yeah. It says, I'm not sure if you can see that. The cowardly lion loses his courage. I'll try and bring the brightness up. Cowardly lion loses his courage. The Tin Man loses his heart in response to James. And then it's got the Scarecrow loses his mind. And it's the picture of Crow crying over Clover's dead body. And, well, I think Arnold, Murder of Birds, saw this exact thing or something similar because he made a YouTube community post that that said the wizard used deceit and influence deceit to influence and control others, rather which is sort of what the wizard did in Wizard of Oz. The lion, the lion gave in to his cowardice out of fear of the queen, which again the um, cowardly lion was terrified of the Wicked Witch of the West, more terrified than any of the others by its cowardly nature. The Tin Man lost his heart for the greater good. Now, again, this is with him abandoning Mantle, though I can't exactly draw a definitive parallel from the movie. And the Scarecrow loses his mind in the heat of the moment. This could be referring to either him teaming up with Tyrion or him crying over Clover's dead body. And, well, this is nothing to do with this. This is just personal. I would always hope that Crow was based off something more than just the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. But I have to admit that yeah, he'd have to be based off of someone from the Wizard of Oz because well, all of Oz is in his circle. The 3 other headmasters and Glinda are all based off of um people from Oz, from the land of Oz, which means by reason, Crow would have to be as well. Scarecrow being the obvious one, because the only other one being Dorothy. Because we've got the Tin Man as the Ironwood, the Cowardly Lion as Leo the Lion Faunus, Crow as the Scarecrow, Glinda as Glinda, and that would mean the last headmaster, I'd wager it's a headmistress actually, would have to be Dorothy. Or it could be a dog Faunus and be Toto, but I think they joked that Zwei was Toto, implying that he's a part of Ozpin's inner circle as well. It also, Miles said in a panel in 2019, so this is fairly recent, that the Vacuo headmaster isn't based off of the Scarecrow, so that sort of definitively means that Crow has to be. And while I reckon I wish he had a cooler person to be based off of, because he's my favourite character, but, well, you get what you're given. Anyway, 15 minutes of delaying the inevitable, and we're at the start of the episode. The synopsis of this one is, who will you become when your greatest fears are realized? Obviously, very much Ironwood. But let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, now. Hopefully this isn't as big a shitstorm as I think it's going to be. Not a better world. You keep wishing for some clarity. Always hoping that a lightning bolt is gonna save you from this gravity. You're holding out for some romantic life. Maybe you'll wake up in a world of charm. Oh, but he can set you free. You don't have to dream. Your life's a masterpiece. If you just believe, then all you see is all you need. Right now your hopes are shattered, just pointless ever after. But in time you'll find true love. Your powers just shine when you don't know where to turn to, and sure all hope is gone. When the day you waited for won't come, and dark when you hit the dawn. Trust love and open up your eyes. Trust love. The truth is there, but sometimes it's the sky. The ways uncertain, but we're together, moving towards the light. When we trust in love and open up our eyes. Where are we gonna start?
Give up. We've got you outnumbered.
All right, then.
Yeah, you're not going to beat Neo. Yoink. A fucking sword battle. Yeet.
What?
Where'd she go?
Magic.
Freeze! We gotta move!
I just ran all the way here. Mini Nevermores.
You Atlas elites are all the same. You think hoarding power means you'll have it forever. but it just makes the rest of us hungrier!
She makes a good point.
And I refuse to starve.
The problem is, Cinder is a talented fighter. What did you do to Winter?
I have come too far to be stopped by some toy!
Is that a... It's a manticore. Or is that the Chimera? No, it's a manticore. Yeah, well, there that goes. Oh shit. Go save Winter.
What are you doing? My life doesn't matter!
Yes it does.
I disagree.
Hurry! We gotta lose him!
Guys, go help Oscar. You've been
Guys?
tricked.
They went this way! Come on, hurry!
Damn it, Neo.
No! Oscar!
You smug bitch.
Stop! Drop your weapons! Fall back! This way!
He doesn't want to get... He doesn't want a weakness. I'd call that. That one was pretty obvious.
You had your time in the sun. But now I'm afraid your time is up. Yes. I've been waiting here. For some time, I think. What was I waiting for? Me. No. I had a job to do.
You're going up against someone who's had it for decades. Is that snow or blue fire? It's snow. Okay.
What is that?
That's the power of a fully realized maiden.
It's too cold. We have to do something.
I can go in there. Is she got a T1... T800?
Penny!
I mean,
I'm sorry.
she's still a robot, so
Don't be.
you'd think her
We
endoskeleton
weren't
would...
ready to become huntsmen.
That's not true.
Then why aren't we holding the relic? Now Salem has the lamp, Ironwood has the staff, and we have nothing!
Ren, that's enough.
Hello? Anybody there? Can you hear me?
Are scrolls? Doctor!
Finest mind in Atlas!
Maria! What are you doing?
Grabbing our getaway ship. We need to hightail it out of here. Where are you?
The Academy training room.
We slipped away from some soldiers, but it won't be long before the— Ah!
They're here!
We're on our way. Just stick together.
Oscar? Oscar!
I'm sorry, but you all need to go on without me.
What are you talking about? There's something I have to do alone.
I have to either get the relic back or go battle Ironwood.
Are you okay? I had a job to do. I was supposed to protect the power of the maiden until I was ready. I worry I may have lost track of time. But you can tell James that I'm ready now.
Ma'am, if you do that,
I'll be gone. I know I have a hard time remembering, but I remember that. What's your name?
it's Penny, ma'am.
Penny. Are you the one?
Yes.
I...
Don't know. How are you going to get to the staff?
Winter, thank you. I know that must have been difficult. I'm so sorry.
Hello, James. That is a very Ozpin expression.
And whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Still just me.
It was smart of you not to bring the lamp down here. I wouldn't trust me either right now.
Trust is what I'm hoping to fix. I know we can still figure this out. All of it. Together. Please.
Do you intend to fight me?
No.
I don't want to.
That's exactly what she wants. I guess it's because of Oz, but holding it helps calm me down when I'm afraid.
You still think I'm afraid?
We all are. It's what we do and our fear that reveals—
That's easy for you to say! You can label me whatever you'd like. But the fact of the matter is, I was right! The minute I softened, let my guard down, that's when Salem had her opening.
If you abandon Mantle, you abandon
It's
our
very
best
much like
chance
what
of
happened
reuniting
with
the world.
Blake.
You abandon Remnant, leaving millions to fend for themselves so a few can survive. What kind of—
All excellent philosophical points that won't matter if Salem wins.
Listen to me!
No, you listen. I am done letting others' inability to see the big picture get in the way of doing what's right. Robin, the council, this kingdom, even you.
And you're as dangerous as she is, James.
James, it's who my friends call me. To you, it's General.
I'm sorry, what?
She's mine!
No.
damn well. How deep is this vault?
Oscar.
There we go. Turn into a bird. Oh, now that's a nice color. Arresto Memento? No.
The single quality that is common across
Thank
every
God.
living creature on this planet is fear.
Winter!
What did you do?
It's funny then that as common as fear is, we so easily underestimate its power.
Are you alright? Penny, what happened?
She's gone.
No. She's a part of you now.
Fear of growing close to someone. The subsequent fear of loss. Fear of failure.
Where's Oscar? And the relic?
And as more people depend on you, those fears can take on greater power.
Well,
But
at least
fear
she doesn't
itself
think he
isn't
killed him.
worthy of concern. It is who we become while in its clutches.
I suggest you all surrender and comply with the General's orders.
Yeah, that's
We
not going
can't
to
do
happen.
that.
Then, I suggest you run.
No, you're hurt! I'm not going to leave you like this!
You're not leaving me! I'm giving you a head start. This is Special Operative Schnee in need of immediate medical assistance. Send reinforcements over.
We all have to carve out our own way.
Guys, you're... We need to go.
Will you be proud of that person? Will you forgive them? Will you understand why they felt the need to do the things they did? Will you even recognize them? Or will the person staring back at you be the very thing you should have feared from the start? I suppose we all find out.
Let me guess, you're
sooner
getting
or
out.
later.
No. It's so much work. Magic bubble.
That power. these memories. You're back, aren't you? You saved me.
Actually, you saved us. Oscar,
Stop. All I want to know is how we save Atlas next.
Red lightning's never a good sign.
We've got multiple hostiles on radar. Is anyone else seeing this? These readings can't be right.
That's not good. Hello, Moby Dick. Okay, now that's badass. Please tell me that's not her citadel. Please tell me she doesn't live on the back of that. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Well, nothing there made me feel like vomiting. Yang didn't really scream except for Ruby's name to get her attention. I mean, sure, Neo got the relic and used Nora against Ren. Like, used Ren's feelings for Nora against him, which is why he didn't want to form attachments like that, because they can be used against you. This show does a good job of proving people's worst fears to be correct. Blake with her, as soon as I get close to people, the White Fang's gonna come in and attack them. It happened. James, as soon as I let my guard down, start trusting people, Salem's gonna come. It happened. Ren's tried not to form too great of an attachment to anyone. He loves Nora now, and that was used against him. And well, I am happy Ozpin's back, and that the merger between Ozpin and Oscar isn't fully done. Now I don't know if that bubble shield was Oscar, like his semblance or anything, or well, just him tapping into Oz's power, because it seemed very similar to what happened at the end of Volume 3, when he was attacking Cinder. But yeah. All in all, I expected it to be worse. But here's the thing. Anyone who could have done anything to stop those Grimm are very exhausted now. And that's a problem. James is injured, Winter is very injured, Oscar's got no aura left, so I'm guessing the bubble is the magic, because, well, we broke his aura. Tyrion's on the loose, Cinder and Neo are on the loose, Crow and Robin are under arrest. It's funny that the only two that they've managed to actually arrest are the experienced huntsmen. But then again, one was just waking up after being knocked out and one gave himself up willingly. I'm glad not Winter, Robin doesn't think Crow killed Clover. They didn't say anything on it, but you could tell by the just that interaction that she knows he wouldn't do something like that. Well, yeah, I agree. James in this state is as dangerous to the people of Remnant as Salem is, because, well, he's in a position of power. Really? There was no end credit scene. Interesting. Hmm. Oh well. So, I sort of got through my analysis while I was doing this. So, yeah, I guess if you tune into my other videos, I'll see you when the next one of those comes out. Or else, I'll catch you after the hiatus. Bye.